What is going on, Ada Nation? Welcome to DApp Central. My name is Fareed. Hopefully, you guys can hear me well. If you are, hello and welcome to today's live stream. I'm just getting back from Denver, Colorado after having a blast at the last version of RareEvo. Now, this is the second year which this event took place, and I really want to say that it was not only enjoyable, but it was a step up from what we saw last year. So, I'm really just trying to touch on my experience and give you guys a little bit of news surrounding some of the projects that I chatted with and what you guys can expect from myself and the channel in the next coming days. So let's quickly take a look at the chat here. We've got Cardano MM, welcome aboard. We've also got Kevin C. Hello there, how are you doing? And we've got Corn Sullied also tuning in. Again, you guys, I really do appreciate you guys tuning in for this live stream. Now, let's go ahead and just jump into today's brief agenda. If you guys are not familiar with RareEvo, this took place in Denver, Colorado. It was a multi-chain event this particular year, which was a little bit different than last year. So last year, it was basically touted as a Cardano only event in which we saw the majority of the biggest protocols on Cardano attending. Now, this year, we also saw some additional chains. One of them was VeChain, which I believe sponsors the UFC, and they also attended this particular year's version of RareEvo. Now, the majority of the projects were still, I believe, Cardano based, and that was really what kind of got my attention. So that's really what I'm going to be focusing on here. As you guys are more than aware, this is going to be a Cardano centric channel. Now, because this is fresh off of the press, I wasn't really able to sit down and get an ideal plan for today's video. So I'm going to be kind of going off the cusp here, and I hope you guys can bear with me. So the plan is going to be to just briefly touch on the event, who actually attended. After that, I want to take a look at the event booth map to actually see, what the platform looked like. And then we're going to jump into some of the people that I was able to interview as a part of RareEvo 2023, which included Charli3 or C3, which is going to be an Oracle platform, Mickey Watkins from World Mobile, as well as Indigo, MusiSwap, Cornucopias, and a few others. Now, I'm still working very hard right now to go ahead and actually get the footage edited. As you guys are probably aware, the event just ended. And so I'm going to need a little bit of time to tidy all of that up, but I at least want to give you guys a preview as to what you guys can expect. As a content creator myself, I try to step up my game, because this was my second year attending. And so I brought a little bit more equipment to get you guys a better experience. And another really cool thing about this year was that I was able to tag along with my younger brother. So he was actually behind the camera this time, helping me out, making sure that my experience was to just focus on actually, providing you guys with the best quality interviews and with the best quality content. So he's actually resting right now. I am just getting out of the shower, getting fresh, and really just recovering. My voice is somewhat gone, so I do apologize if I don't sound the same or if I sound a little bit raspy. It was a lot of talking, a lot of chatting, and even a lot of yelling at times, during some of the after events or some of the after parties after the actual RareEvo conference, which did take place from around 8 to 9 in the morning all the way until about 5 or 6 p.m. So that said, we've got some more people jumping in here. Welcome aboard. We've got Ritos. Good morning, good night. I hope you had a great time. I had an amazing time, Ritos. I would love to see you there hopefully next year. I know you're coming in from Australia, which is quite a ways away, but I did see Mark Byers, who did represent the Australian community there as well. So shout out to you and shout out to Mark as well. Got Dega operations tuning in. I'm not sure who's behind the account, but I did actually also chat with Carlos at the event, and I'll be touching on that here as well as a part of today's video. So let me just give you guys a brief overview of what the actual event looked like, and then we're going to touch on who actually attended. And so this is going to be a clip basically walking around RareEvo, showing all the booths there. We saw JPEG on the left. We have also got some NFT and some creators just kind of painting stuff on the right there. And then as we go down the row, we've got Clarity DAO. We've got the Ape Society right there. And then we've also got Emergo with the Big Blue Labs. We have M Labs. We had Singularity Net. just a lot of different projects, right? So it wasn't like half of the projects there were focusing on a particular category, but it was more or less a well-rounded event. And so again, I tried to do my best to walk around and touch on every single project, but it just wasn't feasible. There was not enough time in the day to actually make that happen. But again, I did try my best. Now, this is only showing you guys one half of the actual event. Keep in mind that there was another half adjacent to this particular building, which actually held the main stage, in which we had a lot of fireside chats. So, amongst some of the fireside chats, we did hear from Charles, we heard from Zengate, we heard from Mickey Watkins, we even heard from the Cornucopias team, which we saw Rob, Josh, Clay Nation, and then we actually had them hosted by Josh from Late Game Crypto. And so this is just showing you guys a very brief portion of what was actually going on. Now, one cool thing that kind of briefly flashed there in that video that is playing was a content creator booth that was in the back. And so that was something that I really appreciated this year, was the fact that they really tried to focus on making the experience overall better for content creators. So within this booth, we had people live streaming during the actual event. And I want to just quickly give a shout out to the Ape Society. If I'm not mistaken, I spoke to Devin from the event, who did confirm that that booth was actually funded by the Ape Society DAO. So really interesting to see that, these guys are taking it to the next level, having their community vote and putting something like this together to help out spread, or to help spread awareness through content creators. One notable content creator that I actually saw using that booth was BitBoy Crypto. I know that he tends to get a mixed reaction when we're speaking about him, especially within the Cardano community. But he did attend, and he actually held, I think, 2 or 3 different live streams in that booth there in the back. And to go ahead and edit my videos, I'll provide a little bit more footage of that. But that was just one piece there of the actual event. Now, if I jump into the actual booth map here to give you guys a better look here, let me put this up on the stream. You guys can actually see who was in attendance. So towards the very back here, on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side, we had the art exhibit areas, which I showed. And then this was the actual pod talking about all the way in the very back. Now, if we scroll all the way down here, this was the entrance here. And this is where we had Hive, which is going to be a blockchain. And then we also had VeChain, which was at the bottom right-hand corner. And so again, keep in mind that this was a multi-chain event as opposed to last year where it only focused on Cardano. Right in the middle, we actually had input output as well as Emergo. And I actually met a really interesting person whose name is Amar from Emergo. And we're going to be chatting a little bit more following RareEvo to see how provide them information as well as how they can spread educational content through my channel here moving forward. So that was one of the biggest things that I really found about this event, was the networking was really amazing. The ability to shake so many people's hands and the ability to just finally meet a lot of people that I had interacted with within the community, but that I hadn't really had the opportunity to meet face to face. So that was really, really huge for me. And that was really one of the biggest sticking points for myself. Obviously the projects there, being there were great, but really talking to people and really seeing, who was there and shaking their hands was, I think, one of the biggest things for me. Now, jumping back and looking at some of the other projects that were in attendance, we have Hosky, probably the biggest meme coin right now on Cardano, getting a little bit of competition from SNEC. We had M Labs, which is basically going to be a smart contracting development platform on Cardano, which has really helped out a lot of the projects building on the network. And then we had Cornucopias, which I'm going to be talking about a little bit more here. I was actually able to interview Rob and Josh, and I've exciting video that I'll be editing later on today, which should be coming out hopefully within this coming week. Now, to the left of them, we had Mickey Watkins and the rest of his team coming in from World Mobile. And I'm going to be showing you guys a sneak peek here of some alpha that Mickey actually shared with me here on the channel. And then I've got a 40-minute interview breaking down a lot of information here that Mickey was willing to share with me. Now, they also had a pretty big announcement surrounding their eSIM, as well as the first launch of a world mobile network, which Mickey was actually able to connect to, as well as a few other members who were in attendance at RareEvo. Now, right behind them, we had Technotainment, which was in booth number 12 here. And this was a pretty cool platform that I they're in the business of gamifying content creation. So this really kind of hit a nerve with me. I was able to meet a young gentleman named Logan who basically is working with Technotainment. And what they're aiming to do is incorporate and leverage more of the community and have them be more engaged within content creation. So I'll be chatting a little bit more with them as well in the next coming days to see, what kind of things that they're doing that I could potentially incorporate here on this channel. Now, scrolling down a little bit there in booth number 16, we did have Martine and a few other members from JPEG.store. We also had Crypto Chips. We had Vi Finance, which was represented by Stephen Ward and the rest of his team coming in from Australia. And so, a lot of different people coming in from different corners of the world to participate in this particular. I mentioned earlier we had the Ape Society, which is going to be an NFT project. We had Sappy Seals and Wob.eth, who came into this ecosystem and really brought a lot of, I don't want to say contention, right? But he basically brought some awareness, but in a unique way to Cardano. And so to see him coming in from Ethereum to Cardano and then actually attending an event was quite a thrill for me. There was also Unpopular L, who has been a pretty big voice here within the NFT space, who also attended the event. Now, to the right of that, we had Maestro, which I was actually able to interview Marvin Burton, who's going to be the founder of Maestro, and they're going to be building infrastructure to simplify development here on the Cardano network. So you guys, I see some comments coming in. Do hold off for just a couple of minutes. I will go ahead and actually jump into those there as well. But we have Ada Legend actually confirming that the DAO did actually fund the Ape Society booth for the podcast, right? So shout out to yourself, Ada Legend, and shout out to all the Ape Society members. I definitely found that to be a unique aspect of this year's RareEvo conference for 2023. So to kind of wrap this up here, we did have OrcFax as well, who's going to be an Oracle platform. We also had C3 or Charli, and I actually was able to sit down with Damon about their bridge as well as some recent integrations that they've had here with other protocols, including the Mahen stablecoin. So that was another cool piece there. Now, last but not least, we did also have Snap Brillia, which is actually run by Nin Tran. And really cool thing about this here that I want to go ahead and shout out is the fact that if you want to go ahead and attend these events, yes, there is a price associated with them with respect to the event ticket itself, but I was actually able to get a ticket for completely free using Snap Brillia. So Snap Brillia is basically in the business of raising awareness surrounding events, as well as connecting members within Web3 to companies that are potentially looking to hire them. And so they actually gave away, I believe, a total of 50 or so tickets for RareEvo 2023, but they're also going to be doing the same exact thing for the NFT LV event that'll be taking place in Las Vegas for 2023. And I think it's actually taking place in the month of September. So we have about 4 or 5 remaining until NFT LV, but go ahead and check out Snap Brillia if you guys want to go ahead and potentially earn some free tickets. Again, it's a pretty simple form. I was able to get my ticket without any hassle. And the last thing I want to mention about Snap Brillia as well is that they just released their own non-custodial wallet, which is going to be a multi-chain wallet. So a lot of really exciting news coming out from Snap Brillia. I will be having Nin on the channel very, very soon to chat not only about the tickets and the offerings and connections to events that they're bringing to Cardano, but also about their recently released wallet, again, which is going to be a multi-chain wallet. Again, we do have quite the list here. I'm not going to be able to jump into all of these. Some honorable mentions include Drip Drops, Zengate. I'm going to bring Daniel Friedman and Theodore from Chef Pool on the channel very soon for an interview. And then we also had Josh Stone and the rest of his team coming in from Book.io. They actually held a happy hour, really trying to lighten up the mood for everybody in attendance. So that's going to do it there for that piece. Again, just kind of touching on the people that were in attendance at this awesome event. And let's go ahead and just jump into some of these comments here as a part of today's live stream. We've got Shahid Hamid, who's saying, hello, welcome to the stream. We've also got, let's see here. We've got Mark and I actually met yesterday. Mark, thank you so much for stopping by. I did give you a mention there earlier. I think you said that you're actually going to be leaving today. So I wish you safe travels back home. I know you've got quite the flight back over to Australia. And I look forward to seeing you again at NFT LV very, very soon. All right. So that I think is going to do it. Let's go ahead and just jump into some of the additional content here, just touching on some of the interviews that I actually had. So I'm going to go ahead and roll some of this. As I mentioned before, I did touch on an interview with Charli3. And again, this was done with Damon. And so we were actually able to sit down and he gave me a really big overview of what C3 or what Charli3 is. Again, they're going to be an Oracle platform on Cardano providing data prices or data feeds into the protocols that then leverage them. And so their job is to basically take off-chain information or decisions or data coming in from real life, right? Bring that on chain and then feed that to whoever needs that on chain. And so they've already integrated, I believe, with Liquid or LQ, and then they're currently integrating with Mehen as well. I also sat down with the man himself right there, Mickey Watkins, touching on World Mobile, right? Their eSIM, which has now been released, which is basically going to be the future for mobile devices, the need for a physical SIM card. And the really cool thing about this was that they actually brought a van out to the event, which was actually providing coverage for the world network. So Mickey actually had his phone there and he was connected to that particular network using his eSIM, and he was able to make calls, download those, and everything else that you can do with your regular smartphone. I also met with Dan here from the Indigo protocol, breaking down their recent release of their V2 application, as well as the protocol which they'll be launching and including with Icon. So look forward to these interviews. Again, I really try to do my best to step up the quality here. Hopefully you guys will enjoy them. But because there's like 3 different camera angles, I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time on the back end to do some post-processing to really everything up to par and into a place where I feel like it's really ready for you guys to digest. So stay tuned. I'll be releasing these interviews throughout the course of this next coming week. As you guys saw there, I did also interview Josh from Lake and Crypto. He was also doing some running and gunning, doing some YouTube shorts, getting content there as well. Last but not least, I did sit down with Rob and Josh from the Cornucopias game to touch on their recent release of the Nito Midnight build, as well as the sneak peek that they did let the community test, which was the mining build for the Cornucopias game. Now, that will, I believe, also be displayed at the at the NFT LV event, which will be taking place in Vegas. And I believe they also have another treat that they'll be releasing there as well. Now, I'm going to take a guess here, but I know that we were waiting on the release of the racing game, so we might be able to get our hands on that at NFT LV. I know we did get to play that last year, but they've made such great progress that, I think playing it again this year would present a big difference. So that I think is going to for some of the interviews that I posed or that I executed on during the. Now, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop those down in the comment section below. I do see that the chat is somewhat quiet right now, and that is completely okay. Again, I wanted to just kind of give you guys my take on what happened there at RareEvo. Now, I do have a couple of photos that I do want to go ahead and share with you guys, and then we're going to wrap up today's live stream, and then we'll jump into some Q&A if you guys want to go ahead and just ask some general questions about how the event went or potentially some of the projects and what they were showing off there. So let's take photos here. Let me pop this up. And we're just going to jump right on in. So these are some photos here from, again, the Cornucopias game. This was after my interview with Rob and Josh. Really, really down-to-earth CEOs. I appreciate them. Every time that I see them, wonderful balls of joy, always providing information and always super supportive when it comes to content creation. Every time that I reach out and I talk to them, they're always there to support me when it comes to content creation and allowing me to just really do what I do best, again, which is trying to grow my community and provide you here with the latest and greatest information. I've got a question here about the Cornucopias game from Lord. I did play the Copy game. I really enjoyed it. Again, it was new. And so, playing that was a little bit different, but you were in the actual mining cave. You had additional features. So you're now able to hold a pickaxe. You had the ability to turn on your headlamp and you could actually swing your pickaxe in order to actually mine different types of ores. I believe they had a total of 5 different types of ore, like real world, and then there was one that was specific just to the Cornucopias game. I believe was called Quantasite. Don't quote me on that. I'll see if I can clarify that there. But there were 5 different types of ore that were currently available. And then one cool thing that I did not expect by any means was the fact that you fall to your death while you were mining. And so that was a piece that I didn't expect from the Cornucopias game, given the fact that they are supposed to be family friendly. But it was cool to see that they did add a little bit of risk, right, to the actual game. So thanks for that great question there, Lord. We've got Frank asked the Muesli Swap team. Great question, Frank. So I didn't show them in that preview there, but I did have Pascal on for an respect to Muesli Swap. So we were able to discuss their DEX aggregator, which just launched. We were also able to discuss their governance, which again has just launched very recently. And then he talked a little bit about what we coming in from the Muesli Swap team. So stay tuned for that interview, Frank. But great question. I did get to speak and meet with the Muesli Swap. So jumping back in here, let's take a look very quickly at some of these other photos, and then I'm going to jump into that very sneak peek here coming in from World Mobile and Mickey Watkins. So the next one here is going to be a picture of myself and Damon, again, coming in from C3, very personable. And what I really enjoyed about this interview was the fact that, like, I thought I had an understanding of C3 and what they're doing, but Damon really broke it down in simple terms. And so I'm hoping you guys can kind of get the same exact benefit that I did by watching this interview, which I'll be posting very soon. Here we have another picture of Charles Frederick Regard, host of the Fireside Chat. And this was really mind-opening, right? Because they were talking about the future for governance on Cardano and where we could potentially be going with the release of SIP number 1694. Now, I did record parts of this, but I'm not sure about how the audio quality, excuse me, is going to be, given the fact that, you know, it was kind of far away. But I do know that they did actually stream these live. And so if you guys missed any of the Fireside Chats, exactly what channel they were posted on, but I do want to confirm that you can go ahead and I believe still view them after the fact if you missed the chats. Now, moving along, we have the picture here of myself with Lucas as well as our team representing the Latin America community. And so as you guys can imagine, they did come from South America, which is, you know, from where RareEvo was. So again, a testament to the community. We have people coming in from Australia, Europe, you know, and then Latin America as well. And so, you know, shout out to Octavio, number one, for constantly spreading my content, but the number two for gaining such a big community within area. He attended, I believe he said, over, I want to say 100 different events or workshops, really spreading the word when it comes to governance about Cardano. And he was also able to attend the one in Edinburgh. Charles and I believe Rick McCracken also attended. So Octavio there and his group really doing what they do best, which is spreading the word. And last but not least, you know, they will, I think, also be kicking off an additional meeting. I'll have to double check exactly what it was for, but that'll be taking place in Buenos Aires. And I think that was just due to the immense work that Octavio and his team have put in to raise awareness surrounding governance in Cardano as a part of this year. I think it's going to be the Cardano Constitution. Again, I'll have to double check, but I believe it's going to be the Cardano Constitution in which they'll be doing that. Again, shout out to Octavio and what he's doing. Thank you so much for the support here on the channel. Here we have my 10 creators. So to the right of myself there is going to be Josh from Lake and Crypto. I don't think he needs an introduction. To the right of Josh, we've got Jay Crypto, who also does the metaverse coverage and NFT coverage. And then to the left of myself in the picture, we have Subcritical, who's really deep into DeFi. And it was really good to see him there, given the fact that he is a Colorado native. What a beautiful state in general. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to go, you know, hiking or checking out the mountains. I would have loved to do that. But maybe next year I'll get there a little bit early to check that out and get a tour of the town from Subcritical himself. You know, really a big testament to some of the creators I do know that, we were not able to get other content creators or Kaizen Crypto or even Cardano with Paul. But I would hope to see them, either at NFT LV, potentially at the Cardano Summit, which will be taking place in Dubai. Moving on to the next picture here, we have myself and DeFi Dan again from the Indigo. Along, we've got myself and Mickey. Again, what a wonderful CEO, really down to earth, very personable, and time for everybody. I told him this, after our interview a little bit off air. I really appreciate the amount of time that he puts into the community. That's why a lot of people are drawn to World Mobile and him and the team in general. He makes time not only for creators like myself, but he sat down on both days of the event for 2+ hours talking to Earth node operators as a part of the ENO. So shout out to Rob, who's going to be the head of the Earth Node Alliance. Shout out to Cal or Clover as well. They really organized and gathered the Earth Node operator community, which is all going to be supporting or going to be the backbone to the World Mobile Network. And so doing that, Mickey recognized that. And on both days, he sat down with, I think, 20 to 30 plus ENOs, right? And he broke down all the information and all of the latest updates when it comes to World Mobile. So shout out to him and the team. I'm definitely going to be doing my part here to provide them with the coverage that they deserve, especially having interacted with them after this last event. Moving into the next one here is a picture of myself and Brian from Hero Pool, the Cardano over coffee platform on Twitter. Shout out to him, man. I didn't realize that he's been in Cardano since I believe 2018-ish, but he's been doing daily Twitter spaces Monday through Friday for like the last 3 or 4 years, which is a lot of work. I'm a content creator myself, and to do content daily takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. And Brian's been doing that for 3+ years. So shout out to Brian. Make sure to go ahead and check out Cardano over coffee if you guys are not already doing so. And if you're a project, you can also reach out to them in order to get hosted for an interview on their platform. All you have to do is go ahead and fill out the schedule, and he'll be more than happy to go ahead and host you. I do also want to state here that Brian is also having a Cardano proposal. So if you guys want to go ahead and support Cardano over coffee and what they're doing and raising awareness surrounding all the builders here on the network, then make sure to go ahead and vote for them. I believe the voting for Catalyst funding round number 10 will be beginning here on the end of this month. So very, very soon, you have the ability to vote for all these great builders contributing to the Cardano network. Moving along, we are getting closer towards the end. And this is a picture of myself and Carlos, the founder of Dega. I do see Dega Operations is in here. Shout out to you guys for what you guys are doing. I Carlos on the channel very, very soon for a one-on-one interview touching on Dega and what they're doing. They are going their own blockchain, but they're going to be providing the infrastructure for other platforms to basically run a seamless operation. So they're providing different APIs or endpoints feeding data over into different projects. They've already struck a partnership with Cornucopias, and they just struck a partnership with the World Mobile team. So congratulations to the entire Dega team. Congratulations to Carlos himself. And they also have an ISPO, which is currently ongoing. So if you guys want to find out more about that, I did have a video released, but you can head over to their official website, which I believe is at dega.org, to find out more about what they're contributing to this great ecosystem. Moving along here is a picture of myself and Amar, who's going to be a rep from Emergo, who's there on the left-hand side. I also did meet with, I believe it's his colleague who's head of the education side of Emergo. And so if you guys are not familiar with Emergo, they're going to be one of the 3 founding arms here for Cardano. So we have IOG, or Input Output Global, which is going to be run by Charles Hoskinson. We have the Cardano Foundation, and then we have Emergo. Now, Emergo focuses more on the Asian countries, and so they don't really have a lot of interaction with the United States population. And that is exactly why Amar had reached out to myself. He took note of the Dap Central YouTube channel. He told me he's a great fan, and I'm definitely a great fan of Emergo myself. And what he wants to do is, I believe, collaborate moving forward. So you guys might be seeing more coverage here on this channel and more push towards the educational content that Emergo provides. They've got a lot of free content. They do also have some paid courses, but we'll be collaborating collaborating together moving forward to spread awareness and to spread just educational content within the United States region. So keep an eye out for that here. I am really excited for what they're doing. And then to that end, there's also going to be a platform, which I'll leave the link to down below in today's video description, which is going to allow for you to get early access to the governance portals moving forward. I believe it's called Intersect MBO. Again, I'll be doing a little bit more research surrounding what exactly it's providing, and I'll be providing more coverage on that in my future videos. All right, we are getting closer towards the end here. We'll take a few comments and then we're going to end this here with a little bit of a leak, again, coming in from the World Mobile team. Here we have myself and Cal, who runs the Clover stake pool. We've also got Rick McCracken there in the middle of us, who is very well known within this community. He runs the Digi pools. He's also very close to Cardano governance and just Cardano in general. He does also create content, and so he's kind of a jack of all trades. And I am looking forward to having him on the channel as well to touch on governance on Cardano, in the fact that we're also getting ready for the Voltaire era in SIP number 1694. Now we are getting close towards the end here. Here we have a picture of myself and the guys from the JPEG.org team, and they just recently released their tokenomics for the JPEG token. So I'm going to be releasing a Cardano scoop video very, very soon, and you can definitely bet that this will be one of the pieces that I'm going to be highlighting, which is going to be the JPEG token. If you guys are not aware, with JPEG, they are the biggest marketplace right now when it comes to NFTs on Cardano. And we recently saw them release the season feature, which basically allows you to gain points as you begin to make purchases on the platform. And you can then, I believe, use that to your benefit. There's a little bit of utility. I don't want to state it now because I don't want to misquote it, but that is currently ongoing. And I believe that does tie in to the actual JPEG token. So depending on how much XP you have, don't quote me, I believe you can convert that over to the JPEG token, and then you can then use the JPEG token as you wish. And I think it gives you discounts as well on the platform. So I have a little bit of homework to do there when it comes to JPEG.store, but I did want to show you guys here that they were in attendance and that they were also in attendance last year as well. So shout out to Martin there on my left and the rest of his team, providing a lot of utility and a lot of use cases for NFT holders here on the Cardano network. Moving right along, we have a picture of myself there. On the left is going to be Nin from Brilia. As I mentioned, if you guys are looking to, get connected and potentially earn free tickets for events here on Cardano, go ahead and check out Snap Brilia. And then myself is going to be Octavio from Cardano Feed, which I didn't mention this before, right? He's again supporting the Latin America community, but he has a YouTube, or not a YouTube, but a Twitter page, which is called Cardano Feed. And he also has a newsletter in English. So you guys make sure to go ahead and subscribe to that newsletter. Check it out. Provides daily updates going on in Cardano. And again, we've got Lucas there, who's also accompanying him from the Latin America region. Here we have myself and Blockjock, huge supporter here of myself on the channel, and I am a huge supporter of him there as well. He's a part of the Mahen team, bringing the fiat-backed stablecoin that we're expecting very, very soon. I did mention this earlier, but they do have an integration with Charli3 with respect to their Oracle. And this is one of the things that I actually chatted with Damon about in my interview where I sat down with him. And so it's interesting because Charli3 is going to be doing a first of its kind, given the fact that they're going to be using their Oracle to verify real fiat-backed reserves. So what they're going to be having to do is basically verify that the banks that the Mahen protocol are using actually are holding the fiat that they state that they are. You can imagine that, right now the bank is the only person that knows how much fiat they currently hold, but they're going to have to spread that information or share that information moving forward with Charli3. And then Charli3 will then be able to actually pass that on to Mahen, and that will be verifiable on chain by anybody utilizing that protocol, right? So really interesting stuff going on here. And we've already seen this integration take place on the testnet. So shout out to Blockjock, shout out to Matt Ploman, Matt Tristan, who's going to be the developer, and then also Steve Fisher, who is going to be developing their user interface. I did sit down for a brief interview with this team. Again, you guys can expect that here to come out very, very soon as I begin editing, or I begin wrapping up my editing. Here we have a supporter here, Dave McCraw from the channel. Shout out to you, Dave. I always see you in the comments, and I did run into you last year as well. It's always great to meet and chat here with supporters of the channel. And I think we might be getting to the end here. This was actually a beautiful picture taken by my younger brother, as I mentioned before, who attended the event with me. And this was just on the plane coming back home from Denver. We caught a very, very early flight there. And it was just a beautiful shot that I wanted to go ahead and share with you all. All right, let's go ahead and take some comments here again. I appreciate you guys tuning in here and bearing with me, just really providing you guys with my recent experience there at RareEvo. If you did attend, let me know down in the comments as well. How was your experience? What did you like, and what are you looking forward to next year? We've got another question here coming in from Frank. I did touch on the fact that I did talk to MusiSwap. I did meet, I think his name was Marius from the Li-Fi team. I did not get to interview him, however, but we are going to be in talks whenever they're ready to, go ahead and go public. I will go ahead and bring him on to the channel for an interview. Dega Operations, you are welcome. Again, it was really a great time seeing you guys out there. We've got Das. Hello and Germany. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Interesting thing that I learned about Germany, and this was actually coming in from Pascal, was that you guys in Germany, or at least this is what I heard from Pascal, was that there is not a lot of air conditioning. And so what I found was really funny was he had on a jacket within the actual hotel, which nobody else had a jacket on there. And that was because he was cold. And I mean, it was 90, 95 degrees the entire time. And he said that, because he just wasn't used to the air conditioning, that he was cold. And again, he was one of the few people that I saw that wearing a jacket. So interesting piece of news. Just wanted to just insert that there as a little tangent there, but something that I learned along. Let's see here. We've got Cliff coming in from New York. What is up? Imano, I really do appreciate you, man. Again, thank you for tagging along with me as a part of the trip. We've got Kevin C. Greetings from Belgium. Geez, I didn't realize how many people are watching from so many different places. When I look at my YouTube stats, it always tells me that the majority of my viewership is within the US. But I really have to start considering, the fact that with the Web3 age, that anybody, can be a part of this community. So I'm super thankful for everybody watching from all these different locations and you guys tuning in, from literally all the way around the world for the information that I provide. So thank you all very, very much. I'm deeply humbled. Let's see. Crypto Anomalous Angelo, what is going on, man? Another Earth node operator. Great to meet you, man. Thanks for the recap. There's no way to take it all in. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, man. By the time that we were done with day one, I chatted with like different projects. And even then, there were still more that like I made the promises that, hey, I'll come back and see you guys tomorrow. And I tried my best, but there just was not enough time, between the actual event map, right, which I showed with you guys earlier, and the actual breakout sessions. So there were like breakout sessions for Icon, breakout sessions for Wi-Fi, and so many other, projects. It was really hard to divvy up your time and touch on everything. You had to make wise decisions and you had to make sure that you had an agenda laid out before. Otherwise, you'd like run into somebody and then spend 30 minutes or an hour talking to them in the hallway. And then before you knew it, it was 5 o'clock. And then at that point, people were looking forward to just kind of relaxing, unbuttoning their shirts and then heading out to the after parties. So, Angelo, again, really great to see you here. I appreciate the support. We've got Cardano How are you, Fareed? You look so tall in the pics. Are you 7 foot tall? I am not. And it's actually one of the things that a lot of people didn't realize. I'm only 6'3". I think it is a little bit taller than like the majority of people that, I did meet there. But I have to give a shout out to DeFi Dan. He made me look like a dwarf. That was the guy that I showed there from Indigo. Very, very nice guy. He's actually a bodybuilder as well. He showed me a few of his pictures and I was very impressed, at how he was able to spend his time doing bodybuilding and then crypto and then a lot of other things on the side. But I'm only 6'3". But yeah, it's one of the things that I always get when I meet people in person is they're like, when I watch you in the videos, it's hard to tell how tall you are. But I think those pictures kind of put that into perspective a little bit more. As always, I do appreciate your support. You've been one of the first supporters here on the channel since I've begun. Let's see here. We've got Rob Gregg in the house. How are you doing, Rob? Let's see here. I've actually got some pretty had this on the stream. This was myself interviewing Rob, a little bit of a behind the scenes look here as to my interview there. And again, I've got a little bit of a surprise when it comes to that interview, but I'll let the actual video speak for itself. So Rob, I'll be editing that video once I get off of this live stream. I'll be reaching out to you, and shout out to all the builders, including the Cornucopias game, which make sure to show up and show love to all the content creators in this space. I really do appreciate all that you do. And it was also great to see Josh there as well. I know that he showed up a little bit after you guys. You guys did a lot of the heavy lifting and setting up early on, but it was really great to see him catch up with him there. And then we also saw Scruffy, who was actually joining and setting up with you guys there as well. So I love what the Cornucopias team is doing, really reaching out to the core members that are contributing to them and taking them along the ride, right, which is building right now in the bear market. So again, Rob, thank you for tuning in and showing your support. We've got Nico, other German here. I might need to start picking up some German language here to really see if I can tap into that audience again. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Wow, Rob states, I'm currently at the New York airport, heading back to the UK soon. Safe travels to you, Rob. It was also great on Callum. I know that, you guys are a team, and I love that about what you guys are doing. Again, you guys have brothers as well on the team, and it's really awesome to see how close-knit of a family you guys are as a project. Again, safe travels back home, Rob. We've got One Africa. Great work, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, One Africa. Always showing up. We've got Lord. Dude, you may need a team next year. You got a community, man. Man, if you want to tag along, Lord, I'd be more than happy to have you there. Huge member. You're always, hitting me up on Discord, giving me the alpha. It really does go a long way. And I appreciate the time that you take to go ahead and keep me updated as to what's going on here in Cardano. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it here for the comments so far. Again, if you guys are enjoying this video, please make sure to go ahead and tap that like button. And I think what I'm going to do is just kind of roll a little videos here that I have from the event. This one here is going to be coming in from myself just at the airport, right? Showing you guys a little bit of the behind the scenes look as it comes to just me creating content on the go. So one thing that I've learned is, number one, content creation is not easy, but doing it on the go is a lot harder than doing it where I'm doing it right now, which is at my residence, right? Doing it here, I've got all of my screen set up. I've got all of that good stuff. But this is a video of myself here shooting content here at the actual hotel, prepping for RareEvo. And so again, shout out to my brother there tagging along, helping me to capture this footage. But it was really good to kind of level up and see, how this could potentially be moving forward and how to optimize content creation moving forward. And so, like I said, I try to step up when it came to, providing you guys more angles with these interviews, which I did show you guys a preview of there. And then just learning how to make content on the fly to be a better content creator. So if you guys have any, positive pieces of criticism or just constructive criticism, definitely let me know. I'm always open to hear how I can become a better creator and how I can improve the experience here for you guys who are supporting me here on the channel. I've also got another piece of content here. This is a timeline myself and my brother actually setting up at the event. Again, really just trying to capture the moment. And even though a lot of this content doesn't get shared publicly, I'm trying to do a better job of capturing content and just memories for myself. So I would really urge you guys to also do the same. I would kind of challenge you guys, if you're not even a content creator, I'm not saying you have to post stuff on YouTube, but, just get in the habit of taking some of these memories. If you're maybe going on trips with your family, if you're going on trips, to content or to crypto events, just take pictures, take videos, and capture the moment. It's one of those things that I really didn't put a lot of emphasis on until very after starting the YouTube channel. I've really begun to understand that content is forever. 10, 15, 20 years from now, you'll be able to look back at these videos and the feeling, the nostalgia, the connection that you'll have made will also kind of like re-spark. And so that's one thing that I would really like to challenge you guys with moving forward. I know it's not really crypto related, but I would challenge you guys just to begin creating content in your own rights. One thing that I've noticed is the way that the world is moving now, content is going to be king. And so I'm really trying to do my best here to do the same and just keeping some of those personal memories for myself. All right, guys, I think that is going to bring me here to the end for today's video. I've got a little bit of the behind the scenes footage here, again, from my interview with Ethan. And I want to just go ahead and roll a 1 to 2 minute clip here before we close. And this is going to be touching on their eSIM announcement. So let me actually mute this clip. And what I'm going to do is just quickly share my screen and we're going to touch on that announcement. So I'll leave the link to this below. I'll have to edit it after the actual stream ends. But it states here, breaking news, World Mobile now excited to announce the launch of its mobile network within the United States. If you guys are not aware, they've already had operations launched with where they've deployed over 400 air nodes already. We then have seen their cookie cutter template being applied in Pakistan, and they're now moving or making headway, right, with this latest announcement within the United States. And so you can now have an eSIM, which is basically a digital SIM card that will allow you to connect to the World Mobile Network. And so understanding that, I'm going to go ahead and roll this brief clip kind of touching on how this new eSIM network is going to work. And again, stay tuned for the full 30-minute interview, which I'll be launching in the next week. So without any further ado, you guys enjoy this clip.
And then here you have a door, and in this magic door is nothing too magical.
I'm going to go ahead and actually restart the video.
We brought a Starlink, obviously reading from a low Earth orbit satellite. We've got a wire facing over here. The wire goes to the back of the van. In the back of the van, we've got a generator that's running. We'll run for about 7 days on the back of this one here. Then there's a feed. The bed is made, so I'm very happy about that. No one slept in there. And then here, you have a door. And in this magic door is nothing too magical. Mosquito net. And then in here you can see there's a switch. That switch is plugged into the Starlink. The Starlink is then plugged into, up here in the top, an air node. An air node is an off-the-shelf piece of equipment you can buy from Blinks, you can buy from anybody else. If you now look up at the sky, you'll start to see that white box there is providing internet connectivity to everybody that has an eSIM on the World Mobile Network. So we're reaching speeds of about 200 megabytes a second at the moment. Alex M from the Telegram group just confirmed that. And what happens is air node is then connected to our cellular core. It's registered our cellular core, so anybody who puts up an air node on their roof, on their house, will register our cellular core. And then that routes all of the traffic back through the centralized earth nodes that we have right now, and then makes...
Thank you, Mickey.
You're welcome.
So that was the clip there again. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a very brief portion is to come. We are coming in at about 45 minutes now. I do want to shout out here, big shout out to Vidimon, I'm pronouncing that correctly. I did see your super chat. I believe this was on my last live stream, and that was again for $50. I really do appreciate that. If you're not aware, that was the very first super chat for the DAP Central YouTube channel. And so thank you so much here. I truly appreciate it. I'm deeply humbled. And again, I know that you'd requested for some video interviews. I've tried to do my best to deliver here. And so stay tuned for those as they begin to roll up. Let's go ahead and wrap this show up. Vidimon, again, I will do my best here to keep on pushing. Cardano MM, take care. We've got Darren also tuning in from here. Crypto Ireland, if you guys are not following him on Twitter, make sure to go ahead and do so. Always seeing a lot of great information here and supporting all the builders here on the Cardano network. So Darren, let me know, were you able to actually attend the event in person? If you did, I missed the opportunity to meet you in person. I would have loved to go ahead and actually shake your hand, but I hope to potentially see you at NFT LV there in the next month. We've got Kevin C. Thank you for what you're doing. You're a real gentleman. I appreciate it very much to keep you guys updated with what's going on here in Cardano. All right, we've got Lord. I've been hitting my scan button like crazy. WM messing with me. So Lord is talking about the scan for points feature being rolled out by the World Mobile team. If you guys want to support their network and help them figure out how Swiss cheese problem, which is with respect to all the gaps with connectivity. You can actually use your phone, download the World Mobile application, scan your local area, provide that information back over to World Mobile, and they'll actually reward you with points that you can then convert over to the World Mobile token and then spend using their third-party services. So Lord, continue to help the team out. Once that is live on mainnet, I'll also be scanning to see what I can get with respect to helping out the World Mobile team. We've got Kronos Baldwin. Well, fam, how you doing, man? Shout out to you and the Ape Society family. I don't have an ape just yet, but maybe in the future I'll be able to get one. CMG, thanks for all your hard work and effort putting into making all these videos. Cheers to you as well, Corn Sully. I appreciate you tuning in here, especially very early on and staying with me throughout the entire live stream. Darren confirming that he did not attend in person. Darren, I believe you might be in Ireland, but it would really be awesome to see you attending some of these events here. And again, getting the opportunity to shake your hand. Gentlemen, I think that might take us here through today's video. We got Farah G. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you your time as well. And let's see here. Last but not least, Tony G. Keep up the great work. Tony, again, thank you all for tuning in here as a part of today's show, touching on my experience, right? Evo, stay tuned for my interviews. If you guys have any questions surrounding anything that we've touched on as a part of today's live stream, go ahead and leave them down below. If you guys appreciate content like this, as always, I appreciate it. If you guys can tap that like button, it not only helps to get this content out to other members within Cardano, algorithm know that I'm doing a great job. And then last but not least, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.